Welcome to Super Talk, the podcast that scratches your superhero itch. Just two suburban dads nerding out over superhero stuff on the small screen and the big. Buckle up, people. Enjoy the ride.
Smash!
Hulk smash.
Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Hulk smashing it. That's right.
Smash. That's hey, you two. What's up? Hulk ready for fight. Let's go. We got a lot of new stuff up here. Check it out. Professor, you ready, son?
Let's do it.
That would have been disastrous. All right, 3.
Welcome to Super Talk, the weekly podcast dedicated to news and reviews of comic book media on the big and small screen. This is episode number 26. I'm your host, Brian Professor Pettis, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, the Titanium one, Tony Estrella. Titanium!
Professor, feeling good today, brother. I'm fired up. So any kids that are watching, excuse my language, because I'm fucking cussing in this episode. Feeling really good and got a lot to talk about.
This is the R-rated episode. This
Not
is
R-rated.
R plus.
I'm gonna keep my clothes on. I hope you do too. Not R plus, not R rated.
PG-13.
PG-13.
Okay, all right.
PG-13
All
right
right, not quite R yet. We're staying clothed. That's what you're saying?
We're staying clothed, not quite R yet.
No nudity.
No,
All right.
no.
All right. Well, before we get into the PG-13 rated episode, we want to start like we do every week by thanking our sponsor, Studio G Studios. Oh, and the man band Corn on the Cob. I saw a nice little vinyl record player over here with the Corn on the Cob album on it.
Yeah, Corn on the Cob album called Boom. Some of the greatest hits that he's done and the team has done, the man band.
So they went vinyl?
They went vinyl. Yeah, old school. It's also an MP3 player.
Shut up.
Yeah, so it's a a record player and an MP3 player. It's kind of cool. A little bit of both technologies there. A little bit of old school and new school. So.
I'm glad our sponsor is hooking up the Titanium one because they don't hook up the Professor. So just saying.
Well,
Just saying.
Thank you, Studio GG Studios. And we got a new sponsor this time around. I think it's going to be a new sponsor for a little bit here.
Yeah, and we're sporting some of the swag right now, right?
That's right. BSB. Be Sexy Bitches or...
Bring sexy back.
Bring Sexy back or whatever you need it to be. It's a lifestyle brand and those guys sent us a bunch of swag. You can see the shirts here. You can see the hats that we're wearing. Yeah, the professor's got a hat. He's got all kinds of stuff. Oh, knocked there. We're good.
What did I knock over?
I think you knocked over Loki, but we're good.
Loki's okay. Yeah, we got nice shirts here.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's awesome.
So we'll be sporting these over the next. And thank you, BSB.
Yeah, absolutely. Support them. Go to their website, bsbswag.com. Order some stuff. It's a lifestyle, and you can contact them at shopbsbswag@gmail.com. So, BSB Swag. I love
BSBswag.com. That's the way you get to their website?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, and thank you for hooking us up with the swag. And you know what? We've got some exciting things coming this summer. And we will be sporting their swag as long as they continue to provide it to us. We'll definitely help them out.
Absolutely, and we're going to mention them for a bunch of episodes here. So a little cross promotion, they're going to do the same. We're going to hit them up on social media, and I'll put a link in our social media for them. So please check them out.
Yeah, remind me. We'll definitely put a link in the show notes of the episode this week as well. So thank you, BSB.
Very
It's
cool.
great.
Thank you.
We also want to thank our patrons, patreon.com/supertalk. These are the fans of the show that bring the show to you, the listeners. They've chosen to sponsor the show directly. They're donating $1 per episode to basically bring the show to you. It's not a lot, but they're doing it. And so thank you, patrons. You guys are great. And we're going to, again, as I mentioned last week, we're doing a huge giveaway for our patrons, episode 30. So 4 episodes from now, we're going to be doing a huge giveaway for our patrons, episode 30. If you want to sign up as a patron, please do so now, and you'll be part of that giveaway.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And those guys are great. So thank you so much.
All right, well, let's get into the show this week.
Let's jump into
Titanium. I mean, really, let's not beat around the bush. So Loki, episode 3, dropped 2 days ago, and I know you've watched it 7 times since Wednesday. So Give us your impression of Loki episode 3.
Episode 3, Lamentis, right? I guess it was named after the planet that they end up on.
But also kind of a allusion to lamenting some of the sins of the past, right? And that's the name of the planet, but also kind of Lamentis as, hey, maybe we aren't really too happy about some of the decisions we made, in our past lives, right? Or past in our lives, right?
Shit. Professor went deep on me there.
We're going to go there. We're doing that this week.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely. They kind of got into that. They did some character development. Now, I've heard a lot that this was a filler episode. I disagree 100%. I don't think it was a filler episode at all. I think it gave us a little more insight to Sylvie's powers. It opened up with her and C20. I believe the Minuteman is called C20. And she's enchanting her, and they're in some kind of illusion within her mind.
A restaurant, just some random restaurant in Hawaii or
Drinking frozen
Cancun
drinks.
or something,
Yeah.
right? Drinking margaritas.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was, and they're talking, and she's trying to get information out of her, and interesting power set. And then it kind of flashed back to where she's like got the green fuzz on her mind, and she's touching her, and she's kind of in that illusion with her in her brain. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your assessment here, Titanium. The show, while being a filler, I think was very important because we got exposed to what we're terming Lady Loki at the end of episode 2, who we now known as calls herself Sylvie.
Yeah.
We knew nothing about her.
Yeah.
We basically learned a little bit about her last episode, kind of a little bit of her motivations, but not really anything about her specifically. This episode was all about developing her as a character and developing the relationship between Loki and Sylvie, right? That's what this episode was meant to be.
Exactly. So I agree with you, and a lot of speculation that she's the Enchantress. She's not really a variant Loki. I think it's a hybrid. I think you hit it last episode where you said I think they're going to probably hybrid this character as a Lady Loki and an Enchantress kind of combined. But who knows? I think we're going to find out whether that's true or not. But interesting, and she kind of breaks bad and goes back to the TVA, and she's heading towards the elevator.
Well, at the end of episode 2, they both kind of take off into a portal. We don't know where they go.
Yeah.
And we found out at the beginning of the episode, we know where they're going. They're going to the TVA, and she is going to the elevators, and she is going to take down the time TVA. She's going to take it all down, right?
Yeah,
Timekeepers are done.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. That's what she's going after. She also finds out that her magic doesn't work at the TVA. She tries to enchant one of the guards. That doesn't work. She's kicking some ass. She's dissolving some Minutemen, and then Loki shows up. They kind of battle. And then here comes Renslayer. Judge Renslayer, here she comes, and he kind of pops them in through a portal, and they end up on Lamentis, and they fight and talk. The dialogue is interesting there.
But they get stuck there because
it's out of charge, right?
The time device that they use to create these portals is out of battery,
yeah,
right?
They call it a time pad.
The time pad, right?
Time pad.
So he creates a portal to go to this other. In the portal was all of the apocalypses, and they go to the one, drop him in there, and she's like, "Oh, let me get this out of here." And there's no battery, which is so funny.
That is
so
awesome.
funny.
And it happens to be the worst apocalypse of them all. She says.
Right. A planet is crashing into this moon. Nobody survives. We basically are screwed.
Yeah, this is the worst apocalypse you could actually send us to. So, but the relationship starts to build there. They have this back and forth banter, and you can see the chemistry starting to build. And I think that's what you were alluding to earlier, that this is a very important episode because of that. Little character building on Lady Loki or Sylvie, little relationship building for both of them. And they're on a bit of a quest to recharge the time pad.
So I think the important thing for us as viewers is to understand these are the exact same people. They just happen to have lived separate lives and be in different bodies. But these are the same people, just in a different timeline or different version or different variant. That's what they call them, variants. But they're both Lokis.
Yeah.
and she said, "I don't call me Loki. I go by Sylvie now. She's changed her name. It's an alias, whatever she wants to call herself."
An alias,
But they're the same person.
Yeah.
And I think, Loki talked about his upbringing and, finding out he was adopted much later in life, and the fact that, his mother really was the one that raised him and taught him magic, and she was like, "I don't remember my mother. I was so young when I was taken away from her, or she passed away, or whatever." We don't know anything about that yet,
Yeah,
but
they sneak onto this train heading towards the city to get on the Ark, to get off the planet. Or actually, they're going to use the Ark's power to recharge the time pad. And that's where the adventure begins. And they're on this train, and he's kind of opening up and talking about his mother and that he didn't know he was adopted. And she's like, "Yeah, I knew I was adopted." She doesn't give up a whole lot, if you notice. She said, "My mother's just faded memories. It's very foggy." She doesn't give up a lot about her backstory or anything like that, which is interesting.
But the one thing she said, which I take for, to be a big clue here, she says, "The plan that you interrupted was years in the making."
Years in the making, yeah.
Years in the making. So when he came and followed her to the TVA and interrupted her from getting on the elevator, she's like, "The plan you interrupted was years in the making." She said, "I've been fighting this organization my entire life."
Yeah.
Is what she said.
Yeah.
So that makes me believe that she was pulled in by the TVA when she was a child.
Yeah. Well, we know that.
We do.
Yeah.
How do we know that?
Episode 4 teaser trailer, there's a young girl dressed in her.
So anybody who hasn't seen the episode 4 teaser trailer doesn't know that.
That's a spoiler.
Okay.
No, just-
So, well, you made it sound like it was common knowledge that we knew she was a
Oh,
child.
it's all over social media. I mean, they've let out that teaser.
So everybody that's listening and watching, you're obviously in tune with what's been leaked all over social media.
Mhm.
So that's something.
It looks like her. She's in the outfit. She's in the Loki outfit. It's a little girl, and she's being the older Loki is actually in cuffs with the collar on, walking down a hallway. You just get teaser blocks of it. Not a whole lot of information, but I think we're going to know a lot more about her backstory in episode.
So
6.
the theory is she was apprehended by the TVA when she was a child.
Yeah.
Somehow escaped and has been fighting them ever since until she's now in her mid 30s.
I
Let's
guess
say.
she figured it out like Loki, and Loki's plan was.
So for 25 years she's been fighting the TVA.
Yeah.
Holy
I
crap!
think so. Yeah. I think it's going to go that deep. I do. It's interesting that I think she figures it out like Loki did, and his plan was to rule it, right? And her plan was to tear it down, because she sees the control over it. I'm still not convinced it's 3 lizards up in a tower. I still think it's Kang.
There's a
I
number.
really
There's
do.
a number of theories out there which we can discuss, but I think there were 2 massive revelations this episode.
Agreed.
And the first one was when she just was talking to Loki about her powers and how her powers work. She's like, the way I enchant people is I get into their minds,
Right.
and the weak-minded ones I can control pretty easily, but the stronger-willed people, I kind of have to go into one of their memories and implant myself, and I can control them that way.
Yeah.
And so she was relating to C20. She's like, well, that particular example, I had to pull this memory from 100 years ago, before she even started working for the TVA at some, tiki bar, where she was drinking margaritas. And he's like, excuse me? I was under the impression, Loki says, I was under the impression that
That's what he
everybody
was told.
everybody that worked at the TVA was created by the TVA.
Right.
And she said, no.
They're all
They're all variants, just like you and me. They're all variants.
That's a huge reveal.
Huge revelation
Yeah.
that everybody that works at the TVA is a variant,
Yeah.
that were brainwashed and they were taught to do whatever they need to do to run the job they have at the TVA.
Yeah.
Big, huge reveal. And the other reveal was they don't know it.
Right.
They're completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
That they feel like they were created by the TVA and they've been working there their whole lives.
The Morbius jet ski thing, that totally explains it.
Explains
now.
everything.
He's probably from the 90s. He probably either had a jet ski or sold jet skis. I bet he sells jet skis. That'd be hilarious. And that's probably why he has that remnant memory that's still with him. It's so interesting.
And that makes sense of the other guy who was the evidence collector. He didn't know anything about fish. What's a fish? You know, and his mind has been wiped. It's
Right.
been completely controlled. So something or somebody is controlling their memories, controlling, you know, everything about them and their jobs at the TVA. So that was huge revelations for this show.
That was big. That made the episode. I think that was well worth it, and a huge reveal. You're absolutely correct. So not a filler episode. I don't think it was a filler episode. I think it was great. But again, I heard this again. 4 and 5, Tom. I think those were the ones that he says are gonna put you upside down. Those episodes are going to rock your fucking world, and you're gonna be able to really understand the direction. We only have 3 more episodes left. That sucks.
And this
Didn't
was.
you say this was the shortest one?
It was shortest episodes.
What the hell is that?
44 minutes.
Come on.
Yeah, 44
With
minutes.
credits?
Yeah.
That sucks. Give me more.
Right. I mean, literally, I was watching. It's like it's over already. But at the same time, it was contained. You know, they didn't. There was nothing about the TVA. There was nothing. You know, it was really about the two of them establishing a relationship. And you know, there's been a lot of conjecture. Do they like each other? Are they hot for each other? Is there a relationship budding between them? Like, no. Slow down. They're the
are
same people.
Yeah, the same people.
Same person.
Maybe that's why they have this connection, like a brother sister, maybe.
I
Right?
think they're kindred spirits.
Yeah.
They find a lot, like they fought against each other very early on in the episode, but ultimately as the episode went along, they're like, we're the same person. We have the same motivations.
big reveal.
Loki demonstrated a lot of his powers. You know
Yeah.
that you know.
Telekinesis.
Well, he can teleport himself. He can create illusions. He can, you know, teleported the time device and, you know, and all this. But he also had telekinesis, right? We saw telekinesis in episode 2 when he grabbed the Roomba.
Yeah.
But yeah, something was falling on him. And he was able to push it back. You know.
We also saw it in where's the one he's in Asgard and he's in the jail. Remember when he throws all the furniture up against
Yeah,
the wall?
that was-
busted when he found out his mother was dead.
That was Thor: The Dark World.
Dark World.
Yeah.
We kind of saw telekinesis there, and then in this episode he stops the whole building. Let me
And he
ask you-
throws guys against the wall and
Yeah.
all kinds of other stuff that's magic.
Let me answer
right?
a question. Do you think the time pad is actually destroyed, or was that a little illusion?
Yeah. Yeah. There's been some theories of like he's faking it. He faked that he felt so for the listening audience. He gets thrown out of the train
Yeah,
by the guards.
because he gets drunk and starts singing Asgardian.
Right.
Yeah.
They get in a fight and he gets thrown out of the train. When he gets thrown out of the train, he shows Sylvie that the time pad is busted. Like he's like pulls it out of his back pocket and is completely crushed and destroyed.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, we're stuck here now. What are we gonna do?" So the theory is, well, is it really destroyed, or was the busted time pad actually an illusion as well?
Yeah.
Right. Good question.
Yeah.
It could be.
How are they going to get off Lamentus? We know they get off at some point.
Yeah, and I think the TVA comes and grabs them at somehow, some way. Like they find them, they know where they are. They're like. So think about this theory. Morbius knows that they've been hiding out in disasters and apocalypses. That's where they're hiding out, and so you just go down the list. And they've been visiting each one, trying to find them, and they finally come to one and get them.
That's good.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's how I think the TVA shows up and picks them up.
That'd be great.
Morbius does. He figures it out. We went to every apocalypse on the list, and this was the last one. We finally showed up like 5 minutes before the moon's going to be destroyed.
And they take them.
Right.
That's cool. We also find out that he's been with both, right? He's kind of
Yeah, but that's his history in the comic books. He's
bisexual.
well in an early episode of the show when they showed his dossier,
Fluid.
gender was listed as fluid.
Yeah.
But that's because he's been a man and a woman in the comic books multiple times over. He
Yeah.
changes his gender as it suits him.
Yeah.
So the fact that he revealed that he's been with men and women is not, a big revelation. That's Loki, the character, right? I mean, that's
it's been
him.
that way in comics.
Him or her. I mean, he's been a male and a female. So, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I think the internet made a bigger deal about it than it really should have been. It's like, hey,
I agree.
he's bisexual. Okay, I mean, he's been
in
bisexual
the
for
comics forever.
60 years and in Norse mythology for, a couple thousand years. I mean, yeah, what's the big revelation here, right?
Did you notice when she's retrieving her sword from the bar, it had some kind of, the markings on her sword that she's like whipping around, kind of had markings like Thor's hammer, you know, like these markings, like, and had some kind of text on it or something. I did a freeze frame and got in close to it.
Of course you did. No, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, but I think that's interesting. I think we're going to find out something about
Maybe,
that.
but and I think Marvel's been very good about this, and we as fans tend to read a lot into,
Well, that's our job.
right, things that, but I think Marvel's done a really good job of, when something needs your attention or you want you to look at something,
Yeah.
we're going to put it up front in your face.
Yeah.
And like the little Easter eggs in the like side, you know, the top right corner of the screen.
Those
you
are little
freeze
gifts, yeah.
They're like, you know, the guy who's like the prop guy or the guy who's the set designer. They'll put a couple of Easter eggs in. But if Marvel wants you to know it, they put it in your face. They there's nothing there like, oh, everybody had seen, and you know, if you go to 1641 of the times and you pause it real quick, you'll be able. Marvel hasn't really done a lot of that. So I wouldn't say, I'm not saying there isn't anything to her sword, but or it's not enchanted. I'm not saying that, but if they wanted you to think that it was, they would tell you.
They would make a bigger
They
deal.
would make a bigger deal about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. A good episode. I thought it was great. So they end up getting there.
Yeah, big
The arc
huge
blows
cliffhanger,
up. Yeah.
right? They get to the arc and it blows up, and they're like,
I didn't even think the episode was over. I thought my TV or my streaming had cut out. It just kind of stopped. Like she's running off, she turns around and walks away, and he's just staring at the blown up arc, and then it just shuts off. And I was like, wait, is that the end of it? It was weird.
it was, and I think it was a natural ending, but at the same time, it was like, holy crap, they're stuck. And look, there's 3 more episodes to go. We know they're not stuck, right? So,
You good?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Just lost my headphone for a second. We're
Yeah.
good.
All right. I lost you.
Yeah. No, we're good.
All right. Don't leave me like that again.
I won't.
I was lonely. Felt like I was in a dark room. All right.
No, but I think this episode was great, and I think we know there's nothing. We know they're not going to be stranded. There's 3 more episodes to go, and the teasers we've gotten for the next episode we're showing there's a little bit more moving forward. And again, you and I've talked about this, Titanium. A lot of the stuff we saw in the previews of this show we've already seen. There's maybe like 1 or 2 minor scenes that we haven't seen yet in the show. So we got a lot of stuff that they haven't shown us or haven't seen yet.
Agree.
So this is really cool.
So rank it from, let me give you 3. Let me give you Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. Rank those 3 in order of your tickle fancy.
All right, so I want to rank it through. It would be through 6 episodes of WandaVision and 3 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier and 3 episodes of Loki. Let's give them equal
Apples
footing.
and apples? Okay.
Apples to apples in those 3 episodes.
Go. Okay.
I think by episode 6 of WandaVision, we were pretty much heavily invested in that series. Like, holy crap, what's going on? Mephisto, Al Pacino, like we were all in.
I love it. I miss those days.
I think Falcon and Winter Soldier by episode 3 was
You could really feel the COVID.
the direction they were going, but we kind of, and I'd say it was a little bit of a slower start there.
Yeah.
This one, what I'm going to tell you is I think by the end of this series, it will be my favorite. But where it's gotten to so far through 3 episodes, I think it's my least favorite.
Oh, wow.
Now, the story and the plot and how important I think it is in the future of Marvel is huge.
Of course.
But where they brought us to through 3 episodes, I think so far it's my least favorite.
It's a bold
But I think
fucking statement.
by
Professor.
the end of episode 6, it'll be my favorite. So
Okay.
I think the crescendo, the last 3 episodes of this series, is going to be better than the last 3 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier and the last 4 episodes or 5 episodes of WandaVision.
So Loki needs to fucking pull an Evel Knievel and hit that ramp at 100 miles an hour to jump the Snake River.
Well, and you've said Tom Hiddleston has alluded to the fact that episode 4 and 5 are his favorites, and they really, the plot really moves forward, and we get some insights on what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think they're purposely holding a lot back, and these last 3 episodes are going to be. I think this is the most important series that Marvel has for the next 2 years. I mean, I think
Great.
this series is setting up stuff that's happening over the next
It
2
lights
years.
the fuse. It
Right.
does. It lights the fuse.
Right.
Well, WandaVision did too. But so for me, it's WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and Winter Soldier last.
I agree.
Because I think Falcon and Winter Soldier, you could start to feel the effects of the huge plot change and the redirection that they had to take it midway through. WandaVision was tantalizing at this point at 6, at whatever.
Yeah, it was episode 6. Yeah.
So it definitely had me, and I was like aching for it every week. And Loki's almost there, like it's doing it. I did like this last episode. I thought 2 was a better episode, but I like this episode a lot. So that's my ranking.
I'm, you know what? I'm not as, to your point, Titanium. I'm not as like invested in what's going on as I was with WandaVision.
Yeah.
Like we were all in.
Oh shit!
Oh, and part of it was we were starved for content, which is I think a lot of it.
I agree with you there. We hadn't had anything in
Right.
a long time, so.
But this one, I'm looking forward to where they're going to go with it, but I'm not like on the edge of my seat. Oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I kind of see where they're going,
Yeah.
but I there's a lot of unknowns right at this point in time, and I think there's a lot of different directions they can go with this, and it can end up being like super effing cool. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I just.
Yeah.
I need more answers from Sylvie. I need to know a little bit more about her, and I'm hoping episode 4 is her backstory. I think it would be important to build that character and give a little backstory about it, and I think that's where they're going to go, at least some of it. And Morbius, I want to see more of him. I think he's a great character. Owen Wilson is fucking killing it, and I just think he's a great character. I'd like to see more of him, and I know the TVA is the big bad in this. I don't think it's.
I think the more I've watched this show, the more I'm convinced that the TVA is not a good organization. They're a bad organization, and somehow, some way, they're going to be torn down or taken over or something.
Yeah.
I mean, just weird stuff. I mean, there's been so many theories on the internet about what's going on with this show, and again, shows like this that give you enough to kind of think, but don't give you too much to like answer everything. It leads towards speculation.
Yeah, of course.
And there's been a ton of internet speculation.
Yeah. Same with WandaVision.
All right, so the theory that the TVA is in the
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
it's in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so
saw a bit of that city back there.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
When Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne are escaping in their little craft from the quantum realm, when Hank Pym rescues her from the quantum realm, there's a scene where he flies through the quantum realm, and there's this little city in a bubble over in the corner of the screen,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Oh, that's the TVA.
Yeah.
That's them." All right, listen. The theory makes way too much sense,
Yeah.
which is why I don't think it's true. I mean, literally, it would make. Oh, remember that city we saw on, and we're going to be going to Quantumania with the next Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, and it's going to be Kang the Conqueror. So that's what they're going to be fighting against. It makes way too much sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I think that little city we saw is a city, but I don't know what city it is. But I think we'll find out eventually. But for the theory that the TVA is in the quantum realm makes way too much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. It exists out of time.
Yes.
Time passes differently in the TVA.
Correct.
Just like Ant-Man when he got stuck in there in between Infinity War and Endgame, he came out and like it was like 30 minutes his time, and it was like 5 years, in real world.
5 hours to 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
And so time passes differently. That's what they've said about the TVA. Time passes differently. Well, if they're in the quantum realm, of course it does.
Yeah.
And powers don't work in the quantum realm. Well, of course they don't, because
Right.
they're in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So it makes way too much sense.
It does make a lot of sense, and it would be interesting to see if that's the way they go with it. And that is.
If they do?
a big reveal. Great.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
I
But
believe that.
that's a huge theory that's out there.
Yeah. Cool. I liked it. So, cool. I can't wait for episode 4 now.
All right. Well, let's move on to some other news for the week. We got some news about Kevin Feige made a big announcement this week, right?
He said that the Fantastic Four was going to kind of be the end cap of Phase 4.
So we kind of have, right now, as we sit here today, the slate of movies that we know about takes us through what we think is the Fantastic Four as the last movie of Phase 4.
Yes.
So the commercial that Marvel shot a couple months ago showed us the entire schedule of movies to come out over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Everything through this year, everything through next year, and then through the summer of 2023.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, we got a movie in, I think it was May or June of 2023 and then we got the Fantastic Four logo. We didn't get a date.
Yeah.
We just got the logo. So what Kevin Feige said is that it's John Watts, the director. He's directing Spider-Man No Way Home right now. He is going to move on to direct the Fantastic Four movie. What he said was that will be the end cap or the final movie in Phase 4 of Marvel's movies, right?
Yeah. So do you think we'll get Blade before Fantastic Four, or that'll be Phase 5?
I don't know where they put it.
Yeah.
The schedule's already been released. I don't think so. I think Blade comes after. There's nowhere to fit it in the schedule right now.
Yeah.
Unless they decide to make it a Disney Plus series versus a movie, then they can make that happen.
No.
Right.
Not with an Oscar or award-winning actor. You got to put that on the big screen. Things are going to change.
Yeah, but that's got to be Phase 5 then.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's no where do you put it on the schedule? We know every movie that's coming out and the date says they're coming out. There's nowhere to put it.
It's going to be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then I get some movie news from the Flash movie, right? A few things kind of dropped this week.
Yeah.
Flash is filming, so stuff is leaking. You know, we get photos from set photos from the production of the movie.
So bad. I mean, it's like, well, okay. Let me rephrase that. We haven't seen shit from Black Adam. I think that's been tight-lipped. We've heard a couple of rumors, but we haven't seen shit. Now,
We got a bunch of photos from the Shazam movie. We got the Shazam,
the new uniform,
new costume for Shazam, and the Shazam family. We saw their entire costume
which
set.
is awesome.
Great.
I think it mirrors what they're doing in Black Adam. I think they were like, holy shit, Black Adam's costume is kick-ass. We need to mirror that.
Yeah.
So I think
We need an upgrade.
Yeah, I think so. But we don't hear shit from that. But from the Flash movie, we're getting all kinds of leaks, and like, we're getting, what's her name, Sasha Kelly, that plays Supergirl in that. We got her in full costume
As Supergirl
As
in the
Supergirl.
Flash movie, and we also know that they're making a Supergirl movie with Sasha Calle.
Yeah.
She is going to be Supergirl in the
movie,
DCUU going forward, right?
which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
She's a smoke show,
Yeah,
so I'm okay.
she's
with that.
got to be at least 19. So yeah.
Whoa, I didn't know that. She's that young. She's really that young?
She's pretty young.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Still a smoke show, but I'm restricting my smoke show level on that. Then we saw Michael Keaton there. We saw him, not as Batman, but he definitely was on set, and
Well, he plays Bruce Wayne.
he's gonna
Yeah.
be Bruce Wayne, yeah, but not in the Batman.
Saw a photo of him, but we also we saw a photo of Barry Allen, right?
Yeah.
Wearing a really interesting device.
His ring on a weird finger, not really his ring finger, but his pointer finger. He had this gold ring on, and in the comics, correct me if I'm wrong, Professor. You're the academic on this. That's where his uniform is, right? That's where his
Flash
outfit
ring.
is.
Yeah.
The Flash ring, where it expands from his ring, and he jumps into that outfit pretty quickly. That'd be badass if they could make that happen.
I mean, it's only natural. He did that in the comics. Barry Allen did it, but then ultimately Wally West did it as well. Had a flash ring. Just point that thing and it just like comes out of the ring, and there's some technology in it where it kind of is able to shrink and expand. And it's like
That'd be
at
badass. If they
atomic
did it
level.
right.
Yeah.
If they did it right, that would be.
Well, they did it. They did it pretty well in the Flash TV series on the CW. They had the Reverse Flash had the Flash ring, and he was able to like point it out in front of him, and it showed the costume coming out of the ring and him running into the costume, at super speed.
The Reverse Flash did that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. So if they do it in the movie, hey, it should be that way because he had the Flash ring forever, which is where his costume was.
Yeah, and Iris West has been seen on set, so they have an Iris West.
Same lady who played Iris in
The Snyder version.
Justice League, Snyder Cut, but filmed some scenes for Justice League, never
Yeah,
made the
never
original
made it.
cut, but then Snyder brought those scenes back.
And made that cut. Yeah, absolutely. Smoke show. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, again, there are two movies that I'm a little worried about. Okay, Spider-Man: No Way Home and this Flash movie. We've
Because
said
it's
it
just too
100 times.
busy.
I think it's too crowded. I think they're trying to be too ambitious and too many people in there. So I hope that the writers and the director puts it all together like a giant puzzle. But I'm fucking worried about it.
I feel well. So from a Spider-Man No Way Home perspective, let's say the movie ends up being 2 hours and 15 minutes, or roughly 2 hours.
Okay.
A lot of this multiverse, cameo kind of pop-in stuff that we're gonna see might just be so minimal that it's just like a ooh, just little hits here and there.
Okay.
But the main plot and the main characters carry us through that
Okay.
pretty quickly. I'm not too concerned about that. I think the Flash movie, very similarly, they're going to focus a lot on Barry Allen and Ezra Miller and the Flash, and he may pop into some different characters, and maybe Supergirl shows up and the old Batman and Ben Affleck shows up, but I think they're gonna focus on him as a character. They have to. They got to build him as a character. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this. So, I mean, I trust Marvel more than I do DC at this point in time. But I feel it's going to be all right.
Both movies for me have an asterisk. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm concerned. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm also, just FYI, off topic here. I'm a little concerned about the Eternals. I watched that trailer again a couple of times, and every time I watch it, I feel like it loses luster for me.
If you watch it backwards.
Are you fucking with me? You're fucking with me. Whatever. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm worried about the Eternals.
I think, again, I think that movie has two purposes.
Okay.
To introduce the Black Knight and Cersei as characters in the MCU so they can use them going forward, and gives us a reason why mutants might exist in the MCU. I think those are the only two reasons that movie was made.
Okay.
Is give us some underpinning kind of concept as to why a mutant gene may exist, and we're going to introduce these two new characters who we want to use in the Marvel universe going forward.
I just hope the story is strong, because visually it's amazing. It looks fantastic. But if I want something that looks fantastic, I'll watch National Geographic. I mean, those guys put on a hell of a screen show well.
But here's my thing. By that time, though, Titanium, and here's the sad thing. We should have already seen Black Widow by this point in time.
Yeah. Do you know that Batman is supposed to come out this weekend?
Right.
We could have been in Batman right now.
Yeah, exactly, this weekend. But we should have already seen Black Widow. We should be talking about going to see Shang-Chi the first weekend in July. And then we would be talking about seeing the Eternals in like September. But the way that they've changed the schedule, we'll see Shang-Chi in September, and then we'll get the Eternals in November, and then Spider-Man comes in December. So there's this compression of stuff. And we're getting all these, I think in September, October, we're going to get either Hawkeye or Ms. Marvel, one of those two is going to come out. So we're going to have so much stuff that if the Eternals bombs, and by the way, what's the biggest bomb on the MCU docket? The biggest, oh my God, that movie sucked. There was no movie sucked movie.
No.
But Thor: The Dark World, or Captain Marvel, or Ant-Man and the Wasp, or
Thor in the Dark World would probably be
right. But if that's the worst movie they make,
and I watched it 3 times.
I mean, I've seen it 10 times probably.
Yeah.
You're right. So is the Eternals going to be so bad that we're like, oh my God, I never just see that movie again? It's not. It's not going to be Fantastic Four. The last Fantastic Four they made, I watched it with you in the theaters.
Yes.
I've never watched it since then. Ever.
Lucky you.
I've never replayed that movie, chosen to replay that movie ever.
I watched it, some of it. I tried to watch it again afterwards, and
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
So bad.
Marvel, I hope, turns that around?
No, they'll fix that.
Okay.
But I'm saying the Eternals, I mean, we'll be entertained. It may not be great, but we'll be entertained.
It's going to look spectacular.
And the cast is off the charts good.
Yeah.
So we'll
lot of
see.
smoke
And the
shows.
director
Yeah.
just won an Oscar.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think, keep your head up about that one.
I'll try. Thank you, Professor. I
All right.
needed that.
Well, we got another big trailer this week, Suicide Squad. So the cast chose to release the official Rain trailer, and without James Gunn's permission or knowledge, they released the trailer. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, come on, this is all promotion.
Yes.
But it was cool.
Oh my God.
It was cool.
Now that trailer I watched several times, and every single time I get more hyped. Like that trailer was like I was like a wind-up toy. Every time I watched it, it cranked me up a little bit. Like
It was
I got
awesome.
cranked up. It's so good. It is classic.
If you got
James
some
Gunn,
insight into Amanda Waller and
Yeah.
her motivation and why
Bloodshot, and why he's involved.
why she's using him and how important this mission is, and it's the Starro Initiative. We have to destroy the Starro Initiative, and everybody's
Starfish
like,
Initiative, yeah.
Starro, what?
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the airplane, and they're like, is this a dog? If it's a dog, what kind of dog do you think it is?
I'm gonna go with an English Basset Hound.
Yeah, an Afghan Wolfhound?
Yeah.
So funny.
That's gonna be great.
Oh, I think the movie's going to be
You
fantastic.
sat me next to a werewolf? It's a weasel.
He's a weasel.
He's harmless. Well, he's not really harmless. He
He killed
23 children. That's just classic. I mean, that line just floored me.
So good.
He's gonna. I mean,
I think that movie's going to be great.
yeah, I do too. I think
You know,
it's
half of those characters are going to die in the movie, but it's going
more
to be
than half.
spectacular.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's going to be
spectacular.
spectacular. It's going to be awesome. And you got some Boys season 3 news, some new news.
Yeah, they added 3 superhero characters. They added Gunpowder, Blue Hawk, and Supersonic. So they added these.
So I know nothing about Blue Hawk. I believe Supersonic is being cast on the show as
Another speedster.
right, but it is what's the girl's name who kind of is working with the boys? What's the character that she plays?
Starlight.
Starlight. It's
Yeah.
Starlight's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
So he's being cast as Starlight's ex-boyfriend in the show. And in the comics, Gunpowder was a member of kind of like the boys' version of the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So interesting to see where they're going with this. But you and I can't wait for that show to come back. I mean,
It's a home run.
It's so bad. I mean, literally, it's so bad and so good at the same time. I mean, it is just a guilty pleasure of
Yeah.
just like, I can't believe they just did that, and I'm so happy they did.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
The fact that they're adding characters like it
Ah.
is just great. Yeah, I can't wait for that episode. We're gonna do a whole show.
And that's
on it.
August, right?
Yeah, August.
Oh my God, I can't wait. All right, well, let's get into this week's top of the week, and the top of the week this week is the big reveal we got yesterday. Huge drop yesterday during the NBA Countdown
Yeah.
television show.
Yeah.
We kind of got a preview of this earlier in the day or the night before, that the Shang-Chi official trailer, full trailer, was going to be released during the NBA Countdown and the NBA playoffs. So we got it last night, and oh my God, was it good?
Oh man.
Oh my God, was it good?
So much better than the teaser trailer.
Well, the teaser was good.
Yeah.
And this was like,
This blew me away.
oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm so looking forward to this now. And again, they've really taken some liberties and changed a lot of the comic backstory. I mean, as we understand it, we don't know for sure, but as we understand it, they're making the Mandarin Shang-Chi's father,
Uh-huh.
which he's not in the comic books, by far not, has nothing to do with Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
But they're doing that in this movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're doing that is fine. I'm totally cool with it,
Yeah.
especially if Shang-Chi ends up getting the 10 rings and ends up becoming like this super powerful superhero. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, the scenes we got from the trailer are just off the charts incredible.
Unbelievable.
And again, this is a trailer, and I'm super excited.
The fight scenes are insane. Like
It's a Marvel kung fu movie.
It's a Marvel kung fu movie. That's like, putting bacon on your favorite meal.
Now the only way to make it better would if it was dubbed. Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Oh.
Hey, Mandarin, what are you doing? Come over here! I will kill you. Oh, that would be so great.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, so we got a few things we'll touch on. We totally saw the Ten Rings
And their power and how they're used.
over multiple different timelines, right?
Oh,
we
great.
saw him use
Yeah.
them way back in history.
Yeah.
So it seems like the Ten Rings have given him an extra long life.
Sure, yeah.
Because there's scenes of him wearing those rings when he had long hair, way back in
Yeah.
the time of the Huns and things way
His son has grown and he stays the same.
right.
Which tells me
He hasn't
that
changed at all.
They make him immortal, right?
Right. So I think it's given him an extra long life.
What about his mom?
So we
get
see
introduced to her.
we see his mom.
Yeah.
I think we get the impression that she's no longer around, or she has died. She died at some point in time.
Okay.
But we see Michelle Yeoh, the character she's playing, is talking to him, saying that you are your father, you are your mother, and they made you who you are. And there's some theories around what character she's playing in the movie. We do see a dragon at one point in time. He's underwater.
Yeah.
And he comes face to face with a dragon underwater. So,
But that's not fee fo fum, right?
Fing Fang Foom.
Fing fang boom.
No, I doubt it. So the
The pop art the figure that came out for pop art called the Protector, the dragon, was called the Protector. So maybe we're
in the
not
comic books, the original Ten Rings were brought to this planet by a race of dragons from some other planet.
Okay.
They were aliens.
Mhm.
Their ship crashed on Earth, and the Mandarin found the crash site and took the Ten Rings. But they were dragons.
Okay.
So maybe that's a race. They're going to establish the fact that this dragon was the one that the Ten Rings came from, and they're aliens. But he's on Earth now, and I think that's who Michelle Yeoh is playing. She's able to change her appearance to be more human.
She's an avatar, a dragon avatar?
She can become human.
Dude,
Yeah.
Professor dropping knowledge, that'd
Yeah.
be badass.
I think, and then she trains him. She's like, here's what you need to do. If these rings have special powers, and if
This
you want
is
to
how
get
you
back,
get
yeah.
the rings. This
Right.
is how the rings work.
And then what I also saw is she has some, and I think there's a scene where he's fighting her when she's like, way back in history,
Uh-huh.
and that's how maybe he gets the Ten Rings originally. He steals them from her,
Ah.
fights her. But she has some elemental powers. You see that she's like
Moving the wind.
moving her arms and making the wind, and then we see a
Airbender
scene.
shit. Airbender shit.
We see a scene with Shang-Chi where he's in a room where he's like the water kind of stops,
Yeah.
and it's like all around him. You can kind of touch it and stuff. So I'm wondering if there's some elemental powers at play here as well. But I'm so excited for this movie. I cannot wait to see it. I mean, I just, the action sequences that we have seen so far in the trailers are off the charts
Yeah.
good. And we saw a period, it looks like there's like a period in Hong Kong and a period in San Francisco. So, I mean, they go back and forth.
The
But
fight scene on the bus, the guy has a laser blade that comes out of his fist, laser fist. That looks sick.
Yeah.
And I guess you see him going with him. What I get out of it is his father sends his attack dogs to try to kill his son. And then after their big battle, they don't succeed. And then he shows up and says, I told my men that they couldn't kill you if they wanted to,
Yeah, and he said, "I'm glad to see that I was right." But yeah, but then it seems like there's some kind of tournament that they have to enter
right?
into, and who do we see
Holy
fighting in the tournament?
shit.
That was the biggest drop of this whole trailer.
The Abomination. Holy shit. And was he... this is just a theory, or this speculation. He's definitely fighting someone from Carmitage, but is that Wong?
I don't think it's Wong. Why would Wong be there?
I don't know.
That
Well,
makes
he's
sense.
been on set. He's been filmed with the actors on set, but so he's fighting some kind of person from Carmitage because he's got this thing, this protective thing, and the Abomination like busts through it. How cool is that?
But the fact the Abomination is in this movie, and we know the Abomination is coming back for the She-Hulk
Yeah.
Disney Plus series.
Kick-ass.
So Emil Blonsky character Abomination shows up in this tournament and is fighting something or somebody in this tournament. I mean, the fact that we're getting the Abomination back this quick is awesome.
If that's Wong, I'm gonna lose my shit. But
I don't think it is.
just to get Abomination back in the tournament fight, come on.
And that was a huge Easter
That
egg.
was
I mean,
a
I was like,
huge
holy
drop.
crap! Because in the original teaser, we didn't see any of that. We saw him fighting his sister in that tournament. We didn't see like the Abomination. So this must be like CGI. They're finishing at some point, and they finally released it. I'm like, holy crap!
And they kind of made the Abomination more comic book realistic, right? He's got like the fins for ears or like the things.
Yeah.
He looks so bad. I can't believe they dropped that.
Yeah,
that's
very
cool.
cool.
Yeah, some kind of tournament. I think that's going to be the main focus of this. And he's fighting his sister in the tournament.
Yeah, but I'm super excited for this.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, again, I think this character was developed by Marvel back in the 70s, late 70s, due to the popularity of Bruce Lee, bringing more of that kung fu vibe and feel to the comic books. And the fact that they're doing that now with this character in the MCU, not only am I excited for what this movie's going to be, because I think the movie standalone is going to be one of the best MCU movies we've had in a few years.
Yeah.
But this character in the MCU, moving forward, his interaction with the Avengers potentially, does he team up with them? Does he team up with other people? Do we, have an Iron Fist crossover? I mean, there's so many directions they can move with this character. I'm so excited for kind of the martial arts / mystic arts, like
just keep the martial arts going.
Oh, so cool!
It's so. Cool.
I mean, I'm like super excited about this.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cool.
Yeah, that trailer fired me up. Like
this is one of those characters that will like in a movie, like 2/3 of the way through the movie, he'll show up in a scene to like save the day, and the entire audience will just go bananas, like, "Oh my God, it's Shang-Chi! He showed up!"
Yeah, how cool
with the 10 rings,
like an Avengers movie,
the 10 rings on his arms. He's like, "Whoa, time to go nuts!" Right?
That'd be awesome.
Oh my God,
yeah, that's a great groundwork for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions this week, Titanium?
No questions.
All right. Well,
let's ring the bell.
All right. Let's call it a show.
Yeah, let's call it a show.
Well, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week for more Super Talk. To get in touch with us on social media, you can hit us up via email, supertalkpodcast@outlook.com, or Twitter @supertalkpod on Twitter. Until then, stay super, everyone.
And we're out. Very cool.
51 minutes. Sweet.
Thanks, YouTube. Please subscribe.